Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're on Novice once again. Let us ride, let us ride. So, today's episode, we are going to start to put together our new track design, which I worked on in between episodes, and I have a full set, what I think is mostly a full set of new blueprints for our new base design here on Novice. So here is a stacker, which it's based on this grid, which is our first blueprint is one of these. Here we go. This is our first blueprint that we'll use, and it was a full grid of substations. And as you can see, everything has this concrete border around it so that I can tell that everything's working properly, which is kind of important to the design process. Now, everything starts with this grid, which so the first thing that we need to do is increase our production of substations, because we don't have near enough in the system right now to keep up with the demand that this is going to produce. And the second step is going to be to start to basically gridify the entire base. So first of all, we have to find a starting point, and then we need to start laying down this grid pattern and then converting everything over to the new design. So kind of the first thing that we have to do, which is the first, I guess, step 0.1, I guess, is to figure out how this grid design is going to affect our existing base and how we're going to make everything work with the new design. So first of all, let's see how big. I haven't checked the grid with the base. What I did was I started a grid here and I based the size of the grid on the intersection that I came up with that I like, which is this one right here. It's basically a cloverleaf design, except it's not quite a cloverleaf. It's kind of a twisted Morpheus leaf clover thingy. You can see it's a little bit offset, but there are no track crossings whatsoever in this entire design. 0 crossings in the track. Every lane has its exit and entrance on the without crossing another track, which would cause slowdown. So it should be a fairly straightforward and throughput efficient design, because no train should have to wait for another to cross its path. There are obviously these merges and yields here. I guess they're both merges, but as you can see, each lane has 3 merges. So this lane here, obviously it's right-hand drive, or I say obviously, but it's only obvious if you've been watching my channel for a while and you know that I use right-hand drive. But here, a train can come here and has 3 options, or 2 options to exit and 2 options to enter. So four junctions, I guess. They're not crossings, but they are junctions. 4 junctions per section. So traveling this way, it could decide to go make a left turn, which would be this first junction. Exit, basically, which would send it down this way. The second option would be to turn right, which would be here. And then the next would be a merging train that would be turning left from a northbound track, which would be this one. This train would come here. And the final would be a southbound train deciding to turn right, which would be this entrance here. So if this train was to go straight through, it actually would travel a straight path going over this bridge here, which crosses the north-south lane. So all the cardinal directions have straight paths that go through the entire grid without any turns whatsoever. And obviously any other path that requires some kind of a turn has every possible option, which is there are 2 options for any given train to turn off of the straight path, and that would be either to turn left or to turn right. So that is kind of the basis size-wise of the grid. I guess technically I could have shortened it down to one more one more grid part substation shorter had I gone to here, excuse me. But obviously that wouldn't quite make it to the actual junction, so that's why I went with this one, because this incorporates the entire merging lane and everything into the grid pattern. Okay, so that being said, now the next thing that we need to do, and let me show you the full set before we get working on anything. And I say full set because I want to, as much as possible, I want to base the base on this set of prints that I've made without having to design any new ones. Of course, there will be, there will be some uh, edge cases that need to be customized, but for the most part, we should be able to use this design for the entire base. So starting with, let's say we start with a, okay, well, let's start right here because I don't have these in any particular order. So here we have a, this is a re-entry, which I believe is right here. This is a station here / a re-entry. That would continue on the horizontal path. And here's a station. Now these could be obviously expanded to add multiple stations if I wanted to. I could not only add another station here on the behind this one, I could also add stacked stations this way if I wanted to have multiple stations that did the same thing. But this could be, for instance, a mining station where the mine could be either anywhere inside this grid or anywhere inside, well, anywhere inside this grid, as in this one blueprint, which is this size, or yeah, it could be on either side of the tracks inside of this grid, or it could even, like, if it was halfway on this one and this one. So in other words, if I wanted to mine this patch here, I have the option to either use this entrance station and mine from here and then bring the ore to here and put it on a train, or I could instead use this one, which would sort of overwrite the mine area. But using the large mining machines, that's not really as much of an issue. But I have the option either way. So from there, we would go to the stacker, which is here. And this gives us the option, the automatic option is for 5 train stacks, which I could expand simply by copy pasting more stackers into the grid if I need to. The alternate would be that I could add multiple stackers in a row, like if I had one here and then I added another one here, I could do that. So there are options, but I would hopefully stick with a 5 train stack, which would allow for at least a 6 train throughput. If I added more stations, that would even add more trains to the option. So it's pretty flexible the way it is designed. Okay, so the next one is the T junction, which looks like this, and I'm just going to overlay it. Let's overlay it here, since there's nothing here, right? Yeah, nothing here. So this is a T junction, and this is simply a modified cloverleaf junction. As you can see, everything fits in the same exact footprint. Excuse me. And it's just modified to be a T junction, and this one goes basically east, west, and north is the options on this one. As you can see, I left some of the track intact in case I decided to go directly from a T junction to a cloverleaf junction. So it's the same exact thing for the next T junction, which is a southern junction, the east, west, and south. And as you can see, once again, the tracks are intact in case I want to adjust for a new cloverleaf. The next one is the straight pass-through east to west, which is here, very simple. And then finally, the straight path for a north-south, which is simply 2 rails heading north and south, which is very simple and complete right there. Okay, so that is the full set. So I want to base the entire new base on this set of blueprints. So the first thing, okay, 0 point, what are we up to? 0 point, I don't know. I kind of lost track of where I was with my my pre-construction counting method. But somewhere we're on 0 point, let's say we're on 0.2. Or maybe 0 0.9, since we're actually ready to make our decisions now about where we're going to place these things. So 0 0.9 is we get ready to pick everything up from here and then move the grid over into the base and to begin to lay down our structure. So I guess 1.0, step 1.0 of this new design is to actually find a spot where we can place down our first grid blueprint and then go from there. So that would require us to place the grid and remove anything in that space that is not related to the grid, and then begin the process of figuring out how we're going to replace those items into the new grid design. So I have to let my my little guys charge up for a minute while we decide where we're going to put this thing. So I would say that we would start our grid. Well, it's going to require tearing the old base down again, which is kind of a big deal. But if we started with, let's see, where's the grid pattern? Is that it? No, that's the north-south. There, no. There it is right there. Okay, this is it. So if we started with something, let's say right here, this would be the least impactful starting point, because all we would have to do is move the solar onto this new grid, which would be kind of a good project for us, I think, to get started on. Although anywhere over here also works. But we'll have to move basically everything. Well, on third thought, on fifth thought, 12th thought, whatever we're up to, let's start down here somewhere where we can redesign a mine, like this one. So in order to mine this patch, this is a good test, actually. This is a really good test of the design, because here's a patch that, if we were to use this blueprint here, the mine does not fit on a horizontal mining option like this. Oh, actually, it does fit. It does fit, except for the fact that we need a grid over here in order to access that mine. And these cannot be rotated whatsoever. So, truthfully, that would mean we'd have to move that mine either here, which would allow us for a stacker there, or we could move it down here, which would mean we'd have to move the wall out to make accommodation for that mine. So, what is our best option here? Let's say, well, this is going to require us to move the wall. If we did that, then we'd have one here, which would be an intersection, which means we would move that wall. And we could do this. This would be a stacker, which would be, let me find one here, which would require actually another section here, which would be a south T, which would be, I need to put these in a book so that I can see what we're doing here. That would be this one. So this one would actually go right here. No, here. No. Why is that not? Why is that not working? Is that right? Because that one, if that one went there. No, that doesn't look right. This one, if this one went here, and then the stacker went there, and then, yeah, right there is where the T should go. So, let me hold that spot in my mind and put the T there. No, that is offset on the grid? Why is that offset on the grid? I think that means that we need to adjust the coordinates on, but I don't understand why that is. That's one thing about these blueprints that always throws me, is because I know it works right there. So if it works here, I know it lines up there with the blueprints, because look at it. Although it's not lining up with, how did that happen? Okay, so basically something about this T needs to be adjusted north and south somehow. And how would I go about doing that? I think I would offset this XY grid position here, which I'll deal with when I have to. I'm not going to deal with that right now. So yeah, we'll make that happen. All right, so back to our question. The first question is, where do we begin? And I think we begin with this one right here. And maybe what we'll do is, or maybe it makes more sense to actually begin with a grid right down here. Maybe this makes the most sense. If we start with a grid here, like this, and then we'll begin to push our walls out, and we'll start basically from the south. We'll push our walls out to match the new grid, and then we'll work our way from here, the south, call this the southwest corner of the base. We'll work our way east and north as we go. So that's going to be our plan right there. So in order to do that, we will, first of all, we'll pick up as much of this as we can, and then we'll run down there and begin to clear the area of biters and things that are in our way, and also keep an eye on Gleba, of course. We'll clear all the biters, and then we'll begin to lay down the infrastructure and move the wall. Now, in the last episode, we had the wall without a wall, and I think that is, we'll say it's 80% effective as a wall. So we will also modify that to get it to where, let me wait for my robots over here before we run down there. In the meantime, I'll take the spiders that are in the zone here, and I think there's a couple of them. Excuse me. This is my morning voice thing kicking in once again as soon as I start to record. I do record first thing in the morning because that's when the most convenient time for me to get started. So it's not the best for my voice, apparently, but it's the best for the rest of me, so that's what we do. So let's see, we should be able to take these two guys and clear the space to make sure that our new blueprint is going to be effectively placed. Excuse me. Let's grab this third guy over here and send him over with the other two over here. Okay, now this, they should be able to hold that spot, although I could have moved them inside the wall, which would have been probably even more effective, but that's all right. It's all good. All right, so that means that we can, let's find the actual third location of that blueprint, which would, let me find it one more time. There we go, right there. Right there. Boom. Okay, there we go. And this will give me a good idea of what I need to clear. Oh, that's me. I don't want to be me. I want to be the spiders. There they are. So let's grab those guys and make sure that we clear. Oh yeah, we got to clear all the way to there. And then we'll figure out how to get, what kind of wall we're going to use to protect our new territory. And it'll probably be a less expensive option than the wall without walls, now that I think about it, because that one, although it is fairly effective, it's rather expensive in that the components have to come from all the planets, and that's fine for a small test, but it's less convenient, I guess, less practical for an entire base design wall, because that's going to require, well, I guess if we do it at a pace that is sustainable and that we can be patient enough to allow to happen, we should be able to get it done. So maybe we'll do some kind of a hybrid thing that incorporates a few of each of the turrets, not so much concentrated on any one turret, but a combination of turrets that is sort of a sustainable method, I guess, of protection. So we'll get into that as soon as we get these guys cleared. Then I can think clearly about how I want to go about doing that. Okay, so that should be the last of them, and bring us to right over here. Yeah, because we have not included, as you can see, we have not included any any Roboports in our grid. And that's because I find Roboports to be the least convenient thing to add to a grid, any kind of a tileable grid, because they don't fit evenly with anything, any other component that I've ever found. And also, you don't necessarily need full robot coverage in any grid location. So what we're going to do is we're going to come to here, and then we're going to begin our wall construction, which will actually start by maybe the best thing to do is to add a few Roboports into the grid kind of sporadically. Not necessarily sporadically, but just to get the grid covered. Okay, what is the perfect zoom level for this? Probably right there. Okay. So what we want to do is get this guy in there where it covers the entire grid. There. And then where would the next one go? From there, it would go right about there. Right there, I think, is the right spot for that. That will cover the entire northern section of that. And then, let's see, kind of place this one so that I can see where the orange coverage zone is. Why isn't that locking in on that one? Okay, so that orange coverage zone goes to about, what is that, about 4 or 5 tiles south of those right there. So somewhere about here, right about there looks right. And about there, I think. And then that one should line up with this one. This is the tricky part, is that I can't draw a straight line with my hand here. So it'll line up with that one there and that one there. So something about here. That looks off by 1 tile right there. And then off by 1 tile is right there. Is that right? That looks about right. Okay, so there. We'll go with that. And that looks right. I think it looks right by the sky view. Hard to tell, but I think that's okay. And then the next thing to do is actually design our wall. So I think that Dragon's Teeth is going to be part of it for sure. So let's grab some of that. We can actually do a cut here. So let's grab some Dragon's Teeth like this. And move those over here. And I guess if we started, it'd be best if we started at a corner. Which means I need to move my fighters down to this corner here. So that we can establish our corner. Now, let's see. There. And let's say that we establish that We want to be inside the coverage area of our grid, which would mean that right here would be the edge of our wall electrically. So no, we could do like right here, which means, yeah, as far as electricity goes, the electricity will be inside the coverage area. So this would go like right here. All right, so let's say that this is our wall edge there, and then we can rotate our dragon's teeth. And then let's see, is this one better? If we do this, I like that right there because that gives us a 45-degree corner, which I always prefer. Easier to defend a 45-degree corner, and it would require just one more wall piece right there. Okay, so that is beginning to look good. And then next we could add flamethrowers, which we can use. Actually, we can use our flamethrower system that we have here, which uses unbarreling. So let's do a combination of everything. First of all, let's get our dragon's teeth established. Okay, I kind of like this idea of doing an entirely new wall for our new thing. And I know Mr. Washington is going to tell me I should use the method that I used in a towns, my most recent towns series, which was to have basically. Do I still have that blueprint somewhere? It's basically a system that draws all of the biters into basically a funnel where they're all drowned with flamethrower juices in this funnel. But I think we're not going to do that this time because it's more complicated to build. It's more complicated to build. So I think that this method is fine because although this does eliminate the viability of using the railgun, because the railgun would destroy the walls. I was going to show you the railguns, but you know what railguns look like. The railgun would destroy the walls, and that would be less less effective than a system that doesn't destroy itself. So that's okay. We'll go with this method here. So let's go ahead and get our walls planned out and see if there's any biters that need to be removed along the way. Or we can go this far anyway, right to there. And I think there are biters down there that will have to be relocated. Okay, so oops, I hit the wrong button again. Okay, that's all right. Gives me a chance to move over and collect more stuff. And while that's all working over there, we can pick up this stuff over here, and then we can work our way down there and continue our operation. So this will be an ongoing project now for quite a while because this is going to take a certain amount of time. I have no idea how long it's going to take, but it's definitely going to take a bit of time to get all of this infrastructure reestablished. So let's see, back to here. There we are right there. Okay, so the next step in the process is to add, we can add the flamethrower method. So we can grab a section of that, which I think I have a blueprint here that already has that in it. I just have to find it. It should be there. I think that is an unbarreling blueprint. Yes, it is. Okay, that unbarrels the light oil. Now, I think that would be... And there is... Let's see, let me find a flamethrower. It would have been nice had I named these a little bit better so I could tell what they were. Okay, there's a flamethrower section with turrets, which I could use that. I actually could take that, make a copy of it. Let me put that down. Put it there for a minute. And then we'll just move it down here. Okay, and then this is a copy. And we're just going to remove the gun turrets from that. Okay, so that is just 3 flame turrets. Okay, in a row like that. Good. All right, so that'll be the basis of our flamethrower idea. Okay, so once we get the flamethrowers in, then the next thing is what kind of secondary defense are we going to have? And that's going to be... That's a good question. You know what I want to do, though, now that I'm thinking about it, is since these spiders are working so closely with us, let's go ahead and get them some walls in their inventory. At least 1 or 2 of them. We'll load up with walls. Let's get walls and flamers and all kinds of stuff in there. So let's like 1,000. Walls is probably good. Let's get some flamethrowers. There. Let's get 50 of those. Sure. Let's get some pipes. Pipes and undergrounds. Underground pipes. And some pumps would be good. And probably let's grab some lasers. And we're not going to use... I don't think we're going to use regular turrets. Let's use some rocket turrets. That's always good. And let's get some Tesla turrets. And we'll grab also... What would be good? Probably let's get some requester chests and some inserters. And maybe some red chests. Okay, that will be the things that we'll need, I'm sure. Okay, so we'll leave them there. Which one was that guy? That guy? Yeah, okay, so let's get the other 2 and separate them. You and you, and come over here, and then we'll grab these 2 and we'll use them for our strike force from here on, and we'll use that guy. We'll paint him a different color. Let's paint him. Let's see, he's green now. Let's paint him, say, or he's red now. Let's paint him blue, and that will indicate that he's got a special use. There we go. All right, he'll be our builder guy. And the red guys will be our attack guys. And then we have another... Let's see, we should have another red spider somewhere that we can bring in. There's one over there. He would be fine. Or we have actually we have another huge attack force that we used to clear this land over here, and there they are over there. We could actually grab those guys. Grab a couple of them anyway. You, and you. We'll get you guys, and we'll send you down there. Take them and send them. Let's see, we have to find a path that we can go that won't get stuck on any lakes or anything. Where are we headed to? Right down there. Okay, so we'll be able to go something like that. Right to there. We'll let them stop right there. That should be about right. Okay. All right, so while that's all happening, we need to... Let's get some radars in. I have a radar in my list of items. I don't see one. I need to redo all my hotbars, because I know I have a radar in there somewhere. Let's see if I click on that one. That's my blueprint one, so I don't want to replace that one, but I do want to see where the radar is. And the radar is Oh, not there, not there, not there. So there it is, number 5. Okay. So let's replace number, what's this one? I don't think we need number 9. Let's replace number 9 with number 5. And then we have radar. Good. Okay, so, and I really need to redo all those things. All right, so let's put that radar, say, at this location here. That's a good spot for that. And then we'll do one like right here. Back out of the way. And then every so often we'll put in a radar, which... What's the coverage area of a radar? It's something... I don't know, but I can see that we need one right here. We'll put one there. And then we'll put one here. And then we'll see what gaps there are that we need to fill in from there. And here comes our spiders. That's all good. Alright, so our wall is filled in. Now, the next thing we need to do is extend our robot coverage. So let's get that guy down to there. And yeah, as long as we do this kind of incrementally, a little bit at a time as we go. I'd like to have nice, perfect grid lines would be great to go with our new design. I've never really done a completely perfect grid before base. I always do, you know, haphazard slash spaghetti slash town designs, stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting for me to do a perfect grid. So let's try to do something like that. Now, where did I put my... where did I put my... I didn't save it somewhere. Dang it. Okay. What am I thinking of? I'll tell you if I can, if my brain will work long enough. There it is. Flamethrowers. I want to put that on my hotbar. Right there. Actually, what I could do is, well, I was going to say I could add the flamethrowers and the dragon's tooth all to one blueprint. Can I do that? I probably could do that. Let's do that. Let's take this one and we'll adjust it. So it would be, instead of, it's 3 flamethrowers long. So let's do something like this. I want to do it where it's going to be tileable. So if I do 3 flamethrowers and end at, I would end right there. Is that right? Would it be there or would it be there? Or would it be there? Let's say it's that one. And I don't want the tiles. I just want the entities. Okay, let's see if that is tileable. Where'd it go? I don't like that. It goes in your pocket. Or, no, there it is right there. Okay, good. I was going to say, it goes in your pocket by default. And I don't really like that it does that. I would rather that it ended up... okay, so it's not... Okay, so right there, that means that it would go, this one would be the next one. Yep, and that doesn't work because as you can see, it's offset. Because that should match up. Right there, it matches. And then when I go to the next one, it does not match. It's offset because it should, the wall should match. Okay, so that means that I have to change that design a bit. So let's take it again and let's redesign it again. So that means it's going to be trial and error because I don't know any better way. So let's say if we went all the way from, let's say here. And then instead of 3, let's do 4. And we'll go right to there. Let's try that one. Okay, and we'll get rid of the tiles. Okay, and save that. Novice under attack. What? Are you kidding me? They're destroying my flamethrowers over there. Get lost, you guys. What are you doing? Where'd you even come from? And why did they even attack me? Alright, let's get you guys back over here. Okay, let's get this all fixed up. Alright, so... Alright, anyway, back to our design. So here... You go there. That doesn't work. There. That does work. Okay, now then... That means this one... Okay, that does work. Alright, now it's stacking. Or it's tiling. Okay, so that's good. Now we have that. So we just have to find the place where that tiles, and that means we have to wait for that radar to come in so we can check it. Alright, in the meantime, let's get a... I wanted to wait until all the pipes were in because of the way fluid works now. If you put in the pipes... If you put the pipes in before you have them fill, and you start like it starts on this end and also on this end, then it's going to give me some kind of a fluid error, so I don't want to get the fluid error. So I'm going to wait till all the pipes are in on a section before I put in my unbarreling blueprint. So then for right now, I'm just going to spread... let's take a little attack force here. These guys. And these guys. Where are they? We'll bring them together into one force, and then we'll just go out there and do another preemptive patrol. So that nobody comes along and wipes out our turrets again while we're busy yakking and figuring things out. Yeah, I'm going to like this. I probably will design a vertical mining option blueprint, but we'll see. Because I think I found the first hole in my theory regarding my original blueprint design that I don't like, and that is that a case like this where I'm up against a lake or some other obstacle and the mine is kind of in an awkward spot. I need a different way to access that mine, so yeah, I might design some more T-junctions, some other options for the walls, but we'll do, or not the walls, but the grid. But we'll do that after we kind of get a good grasp on everything. Then we see what our actual needs are. Because the first design that I introduced to you at the beginning of the episode was kind of theoretical. And it hadn't been tried in a practical environment as of yet. But once we did our first practical employment, then we found out that there were vast holes in the design that need to be addressed. So we will address those. It's all part of the process. Like I said, I've never done an actual grid-based, a full grid-based design before. I hate to say grid-based, but that's the same. A full grid-based factory, I guess I'll say. And so that's a new thing for me. So it's something that we'll have to work out. All of the ins and outs and details and intricacies and whatever else needs to be worked out. We'll have to grind all those things out. But it's all part of the fun. It gives us a good excuse to try something new and different. I kind of want to do a towns thing, but I'll tell you, to be honest with you, Space Age is really fun, but the late game is so interesting that I kind of want to explore the very late game to its completion before I start another new world. I kind of just want to live in this world that has all the late game tech, and instead of starting a whole new world and starting the whole design process all over again and the whole tech tree and planet exploration and all that stuff. It's all really fun, but I'm finding the late game so much fun that I don't want to leave the late game. So I think we're just going to, instead of start a new world, we're just going to live in this world for quite a while. As long as you guys are interested in seeing it, then we're going to keep going with it. And if I mean, it's this I do this series for my enjoyment more than your enjoyment, honestly, because there's not that many of you out there anyway. And if I did it for you, then I probably wouldn't do it at all. So it's really for me, and this is what I'm really having fun with what I'm doing right now, and so that's what I'm going to continue to do. However, if you're out there listening and you want to let me know something, then do so. I certainly will do my best to make it more fun for you guys, if I ever knew how to do that. But in the meantime, we're going to go with what we got. Okay, so there we are, right to there. Now, let's go ahead and clear another section. Okay, I got my worker robot is over there, my worker spider. So let's get these guys going right to here, and then we'll get this guy going with our new plan. All right, so he's got up to there. All right, let's get him actually and take him down this way and see what else he can do over here. Just have to keep an eye on my alerts that nobody comes along and starts destroying my turrets again. That would be upsetting. I could put in a couple of lasers real quick. Yeah, let's get him to place as much of this stuff as he can so that we can put our unbarreling station in. And I think, as far as pipes go, I think that the fluids flow like 300 and some pipes worth. Now, does this tell me the length of that? Oh, don't tell me. That's on Fulgora. That's fine. Why is... Oh, that's odd. Okay. Thought I handled that already. Okay, let's put that right there. That'll take care of that. That's so strange that that happened. Anyway, back to work here. Novice. Okay, nothing there to worry about. All right, back to work over here. Let's see. So there we are. Now, does this tell me how far that pipe stretches? It does. It says it's going 127 that way plus 76 that way. So that's 100 and let's say 200. Real close to 200. A little over 200. So that means we could put an unbarreling machine right here safely. So let's check if we have one. Right there we do. So if we put that, let's see. That, yep, let's get rid of that. We don't need that in there. So we have a pump, we have that, yeah. And so this is going to be unbarreling. Is there two L's in that? I don't know. Unbarreling for flamethrowers. So let's do this. And we'll make it look like it's an unbarreling thing. And one pump. Okay. All right. Save that. And where did it go? There it is. All right. Let's move it to over here where we know where it is. And then can we put it on our hotbar? Yes. Put it on our hotbar right there. Okay. Good. All right. So it's in kind of a weird place on our hotbar, but that's all right. All right, so let's say we put it right here. That should work. And then all we have to do is get our Roboports continued. That should go right about there. And that's going to be... That's like right... Splits that shadow line, and then that goes to right there. Right there. There, that should be good. We'll get those two in. And that should get the wall continued. All right, next step is... let's make sure that our little guy, we'll put him over here just in case of some kind of invasion. So he's close, and then these guys, we'll get them to move this way. Clear more space for our next step in our project. There. And there. Okay, let's make sure everybody is on. What's happening here? Okay, that's me. There's some over there that need to be dealt with. What was that guy spitting at? He spit kind of into the wind there. That was funny. Okay, I think we're out of rockets. Oh no, we're not. We're good. Alright, let's get you back into reload area. Alright, and then we need our radar. We need all this to pick up. Yep. Alright, let's get back to me. Pick up all this stuff, and then we can move our way down there. And then I also need to get the production of substations up to speed. That should be probably our next mission, because we don't have near enough production on those things. Keep up with our expansion. But once we run down there, that should help a lot. Alright, what's happening now? Novice. Seriously? Okay, you guys. Okay, whenever you stir them up, there's always one or two that you don't see that get in there and start to eat your stuff, which is annoying. There. Alright, now where'd they come from? Somewhere down here, probably. Let's go ahead and clear that. Thank you, autosave. It always, I don't know how it always happens right in the middle of a click. That's amazing. But it's always like right in the millisecond between clicking is when autosave kicks in. It's hard to imagine that that's not on purpose. Like when my brain tells my finger to click, and before my finger actually clicks, that's when autosave kicks in. How does the game know that I'm about to click though? That's the question. How does this software is actually more invasive, I think, than we actually could even imagine it being. Those Wooby guys, they have some kind of mind reading abilities built into Factorio. Maybe that's why it's called Cracktorio among those of us that play. It's got mind-altering capability built into it that nobody will admit to openly. That's probably it. I think I've discovered something here, guys. Okay, let's get you up there. Now, hopefully if we leave them down there, then that will distract anybody that comes along. Alright. Now, that all being said, guys, I think we're going to leave it right there. I think you see what we have going here. We are going to add some capability to this wall. First of all, let's see what we got. Okay, we have options. So let's do something. Let's do something like, we'll add laser here. Actually, let's see what the Tesla tower looks like as far as coverage wise. Hard to see. Let me get rid of some overlays. Oh, I see it. I barely see it. I wish there was a way to make that a little more obvious. Let's do something like this. So Tesla turret is going to go right there. And that adds the ability to slow the enemy. Okay, and then next we will add some lasers to the mix. Let's say that we did... Let's do one on either side of... there. Something like that. So what we're going to do eventually is we're going to end up... Okay, why aren't you placing... You're waiting for... I hate that. Why not use the one that is right there? I thought they fixed that. I thought they made it so that it would find the closest robot to the job. But apparently not. Okay, so this guy goes there and there. Okay, now what are our options? Now we have also... yeah, we have rocket turrets. So let's do a rocket turret. And those we can put like behind. They have... Yeah, they have a longer range. And they don't go close. So yeah, if we put it behind... Directly behind... Every... How far does that stretch? That stretches 1, 2... 2 turrets. Let's go right there. Yeah, okay. Right there. There. And of course, you're not going to use the one that you've got right in your pocket, of course. Alright, so let's do a blue chest. And we'll put that right here, 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 there. And an inserter. There. And we'll set that for rockets. And there. Okay. Okay, so that is going to be our new wall design right there. And once that fills in, we'll blueprint that. And then we'll get that to repeat. And then that will be our new wall design. I think that's a pretty good wall. I don't think anything is going to really mess with that. Okay, so that's going to be our design. So I'm going to leave you guys there. And we'll come back in the next episode and we'll continue this. And we'll be taking our grid and we'll be just walking it, like I said, we're going to continue to the east. And then, so we'll do like a typewriter. We'll go east and then we'll go north and then we'll go east to west or west to east, whatever, back and forth, and work our way up into the base and we'll go from there. So that's it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.